On a crowded subway train, a college student named Min Jae is talking to his mother on the phone while heading home from class. He assures her he's doing fine and tells her that if the strange incidents continue, he'll move back to his hometown to stay with his uncle. A group of classmates nearby mock him, spreading rumors that he can see spirits. As they tease him, Min Jae suddenly notices the faint figure of a girl standing silently inside the train car. No one else seems to see her. The sight leaves him shaken. The ability isn't new. Min Jae has seen spirits since childhood. Later, he calls his uncle Mr. Han, explaining that he wants to return home for a while. Mr. Han agrees. Before leaving the city, Mr. Han asks whether Min Jae still carries the old locket given to him by his great-grandfather. The same antique locket once seen spinning mysteriously on a train years ago. The charm has a strange property. It rotates whenever a spirit is close. After returning home, Min Jae enrolls again at his old school. But instead of comfort, he finds trouble. A group of bullies constantly targets weaker students, and Min Jae becomes one of their victims. A girl named Soo Rin begins showing interest in him, which irritates her possessive boyfriend, Tae-wook. One afternoon, while sitting in class, Min Jae senses a presence. He turns and sees the spirit of a masked girl standing outside the window. Later that day, one of the bullies corners him and warns him to stay away from any girls. He also asks if Min Jae still remembers the incident involving Hae-in. The story shifts to a female member of the bullying group. After school, she returns home and notices a plastic bag hanging from the ceiling. Curious, she opens it, only for dark red liquid to spill over her head. Terrified, she tries calling her friends, but no one answers. Suddenly, the masked girl's spirit appears before her, the same one Min Jae saw. Soon after, Min Jae sits alone with a girl named Yuri, though no one else can see her. Yuri is a spirit. She advises him to stop staying silent and fight back against Tae-wook and his gang. A sudden gust of wind sweeps through the hallway. Yuri stiffens and warns him that the masked spirit is nearby before vanishing. Meanwhile, the masked girl kidnaps one of Soo Rin's friends, dragging her into an empty storage room and tying her up before ending her life. While walking together one day, Min Jae tells Yuri about Hae-in. She was his childhood friend who died under mysterious circumstances years ago. Soon after, Hae-in's spirit appears before him, begging him to expose her killer. She even points toward the culprit. But Min Jae chooses silence, afraid of the consequences. He later confesses to Yuri that he returned home because he feels Hae-in's spirit is still waiting for him. Min Jae visits Hae-in's father, who warmly welcomes him, touched that he still remembers his daughter. As he leaves, Min Jae notices Hae-in's spirit nearby, gently waving goodbye. For the first time, he feels a small sense of peace. As days pass, Min Jae and Yuri grow closer. He even teaches her how to warm her hands like humans do, though she cannot truly feel the heat. Despite her being a spirit, they share quiet, meaningful moments. Back at school, Soo Rin suddenly slaps a boy without reason. This time, Min Jae steps in and tells her to stop. Tae-wook moves to attack him, but Soo Rin unexpectedly stops her boyfriend. That night, while sketching a portrait of Yuri, she playfully appears and disappears around the room. Though he senses her presence, he can't pinpoint her exact location. Unbeknownst to him, she watches him curiously from inside his wardrobe when he changes clothes. Later, Min Jae watches the news with his uncle. A 10-year-old murder case has finally been solved. The suspect is shown wearing a mask. Seeing it, Min Jae is instantly reminded of the masked spirit haunting the school. One of the household spirits reveals the masked girl's name is Era. Mr. Han attempts to question her spirit about her anger, but she only repeats her name over and over. One night, two members of the bullying group sneak into the school to retrieve a confiscated phone. After entering a classroom, they joke around. The girl heads to the restroom, leaving the boy alone. Moments later, he is violently struck down by the masked spirit. In the restroom, the girl hears loud thuds but assumes it's her friend playing around. When she returns, the classroom is eerily empty. As she turns to leave, she finds the boy's lifeless body placed before her. Before she can scream or call for help, the masked girl appears again. The next day, Min Jae tries asking classmates about Era, but fear keeps them silent. No one dares to speak against the bullying gang. And as the spirits continue to gather around him, Min-jae realizes the past he tried to ignore is no longer willing to stay buried. At school, when one girl attempts to speak up about Era, Soo-rin shoots her a sharp warning glance, silently ordering her to stay quiet. Later, while Min-jae and Yuri are spending peaceful time by the riverside, Min-jae receives a message from the same girl who had tried to defend him earlier. The message contains an old photo of Era along with a warning: stop asking questions about her. When Min-jae asks Yuri about Era, she explains that no one questioned her death because everyone believed they already knew how she died. After secretly investigating, Min-jae uncovers the truth: Soo-rin and her group were directly involved in Era's suffering. Furious, he confronts Tae-wook, attacking him from behind. But Tae-wook quickly overpowers him and begins beating him mercilessly. Through the pain, Min-jae shouts that they are responsible for Era's death. Soo-rin freezes, visibly shaken. As Tae-wook continues hitting him, Min-jae warns them that Era's spirit will never forgive what they did. Those words plant fear in Soo-rin's mind. She shows Tae-wook an old photo of Era's father and reminds him that several of their friends have mysteriously disappeared. They convince themselves that Era's father must be hunting them down for revenge. Determined to end the threat, they decide to confront him at his house. Soo-rin suggests calling Min-jae for help, but Tae-wook angrily refuses. Still, once they arrive at Era's house, Soo-rin secretly messages Min-jae, telling him they're about to go inside. When Min-jae reads the message, he immediately informs his uncle, Mr. Han. Sensing danger, Mr. Han hands him the protective spinning locket and allows him to leave. Inside the dark house, Tae-wook and Soo-rin hear a heavy thumping sound coming from a large wooden box. Panic sets in. Tae-wook begins swinging wildly at the air. Soo-rin starts seeing disturbing flashes of Era's face. Moments later, Era's spirit appears before them. Suddenly, Era's father bursts out from behind the box and violently attacks Tae-wook. By the time Min-jae arrives at the house, he cannot immediately find them. Then he hears Soo-rin screaming in terror. Era's father approaches her. She collapses, crying and apologizing for everything they did to Era. But his anger has consumed him. He strikes her down as well. Hearing her final scream, Min-jae rushes toward the sound. Era's father walks past him silently, leaving the house. Steeling himself, Min-jae steps inside. The sight before him is horrifying. Members of the bullying gang lie motionless across the room. His attention shifts to the half-open wooden box. Slowly, he walks toward it and lifts the lid. Inside lies a girl wearing a mask. With trembling hands, he removes it and freezes. The girl is Yuri. The story shifts into flashbacks. Years earlier, Era had reported Soo-rin's bullying to the head teacher. Soo-rin was publicly scolded and humiliated. Furious, she searched through Era's notebooks and compared the handwriting to the anonymous complaint letter. The moment she confirmed Era was responsible, her rage exploded. From that day on, Soo-rin and her gang relentlessly tormented Era. They hit her, pulled her hair, forced a mask onto her face to silence her. When teachers questioned her, she remained quiet. The other students pretended not to notice her suffering. At home, Era broke down in tears. Her father begged her to report the abuse again, but she told him the teachers didn't care. Overwhelmed and isolated, Era eventually took her own life. Back in the present, Min-jae searches the house further and discovers a diary. Inside is a list of names, all the students involved in tormenting Era. Each name has been crossed out, all except one: the head teacher. Realizing what will happen next, Min-jae quickly calls Mr. Han and asks him to come to Era's house to perform proper funeral rites and calm her spirit. Without hesitation, Min-jae runs toward the school. The head teacher is still inside, and Era's unfinished. Revenge is about to reach its final target. At the school late that night, the head teacher sits alone in her office, working on her computer. As she stares at the screen, a faint reflection appears behind her. It is Era's ghost. Before she can even turn around, the scene cuts away. Moments later, every student receives the same anonymous message: gather in the library immediately. Confused and uneasy, they slowly make their way there. Min-jae arrives and asks about the head teacher, but no one has seen her. The air feels heavy. Then suddenly, the library lights go out. Darkness swallows the room. In the shadows, Era appears, but she is wearing the teacher's face. Without speaking, she throws a metal container across the floor. The sharp smell of gasoline fills the air. Then she reveals her true form. With cold, burning eyes, Era reminds the students how they stood by and watched while she was bullied. How they pretended not to see. How they chose silence. Now, she seems to say, you will feel what I felt. Min-jae pushes through the crowd, begging her to stop. But Era flicks open a lighter. Just as she throws it toward the spilled gasoline, a hand catches it midair. It is Yuri, the gentle side of Era's spirit. The two spirits now stand facing each other. Era's darker half, filled with rage and power, mocks Yuri's softness. She reminds her of every slap, every cruel laugh, every moment of humiliation. She declares she is no longer weak. With a surge of force, the vengeful Era pushes Yuri aside and takes full control of the teacher's body. Shelves collapse. Windows crack. Students scream in terror. Min-jae grips his spinning locket tightly. It begins to rotate violently, reacting to the overwhelming spiritual presence. He scans the room. When the locket spins intensely near one trembling girl, he approaches her carefully and presses an old notebook into her hands. Suddenly, memories flood back. Flashbacks reveal that Min-jae and Era were childhood friends. Long ago, Era once protected him from bullies. They shared innocent smiles, quiet promises, and the drawing Min-jae once made of her still remains inside his notebook. Tears fill his eyes as he apologizes to Yuri, to Era, for failing to recognize her sooner. Yuri gently reaches toward him, trying to return the lighter so he can end it safely. But Era's vengeful side fights back. At that exact moment, far away at Era's house, Mr. Han completes the spiritual ritual meant to calm her soul. Back in the library, the small ceremonial knife inside Min-jae's pocket begins to glow faintly. Understanding what must be done, Yuri takes the knife. With a final, peaceful look at Min-jae, she turns it on herself. As she fades, memories flash rapidly. Her laughter by the riverside, the warmth of shared moments, the drawing in his notebook, the bond they once had as children. The raging spirit weakens. The darkness dissolves. The fire never ignites. Silence fills the library. In the final scenes, students gather quietly at Era's grave. Flowers are placed gently before her photo. Regret hangs heavy in the air. Time passes. Min-jae eventually returns to the same school, this time as a teacher. One afternoon during class, he notices a faint figure sitting at the last desk near the window. When he asks about that seat, a student replies that a girl used to sit there, but she recently transferred schools. Slowly, the faint spirit stands and walks toward him. Min-jae does not look afraid. The spinning locket rests calmly against his chest. The film ends with him gazing quietly forward, leaving the question unanswered. Has Era truly found peace? Or will Min-jae always remain connected to the world of spirits?